Everyone, welcome to Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Thank you for joining us today. We kind of got a gloom and doom segment today. My Army buddies and I were texting last night and putting all these pieces together, and it's very alarming. The pucker factor for World War III has just accelerated. For the first time in history, the Kremlin has declared the U.S. an enemy state. We're not an opponent. We are an enemy state.
Is that like DEFCON 3? I don't know.
For them, maybe DEFCON 2. This reflects the deteriorating relations between Moscow and Washington, D.C. Did this happen, Trump? Did it happen,
Well, you know, but
Clinton?
Trump and Putin were buddies, right?
Yeah.
They were buddies. So
That's right.
This wouldn't happen. So.
Right. Buddies wouldn't do that to each other.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, the old friends close and enemies closer, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, this is not what's happening right now. So
Yeah. I didn't think of that. This turn of events is in direct response to Biden's approval to utilize American-supplied weapons against Russian targets. I didn't say Russians in Ukraine. I said targets inside of Russia. Reach out and touch someone, right? That kicks it up a whole notch.
No pun intended, but that is crossing a line, right?
That is, yeah.
Yeah, this is not something we've done. I mean, I don't even know if we did that in World War II, right? I don't even know if we went into Russia.
No.
During that, I mean, we were kind of fighting the same thing. They were fighting
Right.
against
They were coming a different
Nazi
direction.
Germany. We were fighting against Nazi Germany,
Yeah.
but so yeah, we never. Yeah, this is uncharted waters.
It is.
So.
Last week, the Biden-Harris idiocracy stated that it worked at lightning speed to allow Kiev to use weapons to strike targets within Russia. It's like they're accelerating this. They want to cause this. This is our master foreign relations guru as the commander-in-chief, 40 years, right? They've been touting.
So there was some talk either before Trump got elected the first time or during his presidency of he would maybe try to create a situation where he would have to continue in his presidency because of the state of an issue.
That's what's going on now.
You think that's what they could be doing here? I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not saying that's not something I came up with.
They might come out and say, "Oh, well, you've got to reelect me so I can get us out of this thing that I put us in." Not those many words, but we elect me so I can save the day. What are you going to do to save the day, Joe Biden? Are you going to bend over and go potty in your pants and get rushed off by Jill?
Yeah, if you haven't bought stock in Depends, then do it, because if he's going to be around, it's a sad state.
Prior to this escalation, Russia labeled countries aiding Ukraine as unfriendly states or opponents, like France and Poland and whoever else was, right? In response to this asymmetric warfare, Russia threatens to arm the West's adversaries with long-range missiles and other such weapons in regions of the world where there will be strikes against sensitive facilities of opponent states, like a tit for tat.
Well, yeah, and this could kind of keep Russia clean, right? Kind of like the way we're doing this with Ukraine now, right?
Yeah.
We're letting Ukraine do the dirty work. We're giving them the mud and the stuff to sling.
An escalated proxy war.
Yeah, where Russia could do the same thing. The only problem is I think Ukraine is probably a little bit more controlled than some of these wackos that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They could arm Syrians. Russia could, because they've got a presence. They could arm Darfur.
They could give Iran the bomb.
Yeah, they could give Iran escalated. They could give materials, and missiles. At least research on missiles to complete their program.
Yeah,
These are not impossible things. These are possible things. I don't know if we can say probable yet, but possible.
All right, so Russia projects its power by sending a flotilla and aircraft to the Caribbean Sea for routine drills. The Biden-Harris idiocracy does not view this move as concerning. Really?
We don't think it's concerning.
Yeah, just right in our backyard, right? But rather as routine naval activity.
It's in our backyard, man.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
The drills will most likely involve ports of calls in Cuba and Venezuela, both definitely not friendly countries to us.
No, definitely not.
Almost like a cat and mouse back and forth game. The U.S. tested 2 Minutemen 3 ICBMs this week. Minutemen 3 missiles were put into service in the 1970s. Pretty good though.
These are like in the silos.
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
they're adequate. I mean, they're not, it's we're still using these things.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
They're good to go. Even though
Yes.
they're 50 years old. So each missile has a warhead with a yield of 170 kilotons, according to the Air Force Global Air Strike Command. The tests were part of a routine and periodic activities intended to demonstrate that the United States nuclear deterrent is safe, secure, reliable, and effective to deter 21st century threats and reassure allies. I know.
It's the company line, they gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I believe in our military and stuff. The only person I don't believe in right now are the guys that are running the show, and that's kind of scary.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the
and the
general staff.
Yeah, and the commander in chief. He's
Secretary of
losing it. I
Defense,
mean, he's losing
Secretary of the Army.
he's lost his step. So that's kind of a scary thing.
That you mentioned that, I just want to say he's lost his step. Okay, I want to mention this that Wall Street Journal put out a scathing story about Biden's a mental acuity,
Congenitive,
based on what's going on over in the Normandy, the memorial and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And so the cabinet struck back and said, "Oh no, he's sharp. In fact, he's one step ahead of us." That's what they said.
Oh, that's
And
scary.
I immediately thought of him falling over on that stage in at the graduation for Air Force Academy, right,
Yeah.
where he fell. So if if the cabinet,
we're laughing about this.
if
but
he's
this
one
is-
step
this is
ahead of
sa-
the
this is a
cabinet,
scary thing.
the cabinet is just idiots, right?
Yeah. I mean, who's in charge?
Oh.
Management 101, right? Surround people around
With the
you
best.
with better than you.
Better
as
than
good
you.
or as good as you. So they can
Yeah.
either step into your spot.
Or advise
Or
you on
t-
smart things.
Exactly. Not afraid to say no or yes whenever, the opposition needs to be said. So, all right. So these ICBMs can reach Moscow in 30 minutes.
30 minutes from North Dakota.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So as a side note, there are only a handful of places in the world that can test these missiles, no matter which country you belong.
Like Kwajalein Atoll, because you can fire the missile and it can land anywhere in the Pacific. You just can't recover the thing. But Kwajalein Atoll, you can dive down and you can recover your thing to reuse it and retest. So there's only like a handful of these in the world. Like Russia's got one or two off India in the Sea of India, Indian Ocean. There's not a lot of them where you can do this.
All right.
So, Marie Agnes Strack Zimmerman. It's a long name.
Yep.
Is she
A lot of
princess?
hyphens there.
She a princess?
Hyphen in her first and middle
Yeah.
name, and her
Marie
and her
Agnes.
second middle name and last name.
Both parents
Wow.
got them. The chair of the Bundestag Defense Committee calls for the immediate mobilization of 900,000 reservists into the army. 900,000. Just
Now
let it
this
sink
is
in.
this is Germany, correct?
Germany.
Yeah.
Let it sink in. 900,000. Staggering. There's about 5,000 men and women in a United States division. 82nd Airborne, 101st Airborne, those divisions. This is the equivalent of 180 divisions.
I mean, do they have the uniforms for these people? I mean, do they have the weapons, the support system? I mean,
Good question.
you don't just call up a city, right? And put them
Yeah,
put
that's
them
a
in the
city.
military.
Yeah.
And say, okay, you're gonna got to train these people unless they're maybe reservists or something. I don't even know if they have that over there, but yeah, this is gonna take a while, right? I mean,
Yeah, so they're defining it in stages. We'll get to that in a little bit. Her rationale is that Putin is training his people for war and positioning them against the West. We must therefore become capable of defense as quickly as possible. That's what she says. So, what is
Okay.
Germany going to do with the 900,000 men and women? And moreover, how is this going to affect Germany's economy? Because
Right.
these
That's
these
another
reservists are coming from Saks or the
McDonald's,
McDonald's,
wherever,
the mechanic
yeah.
at the garage,
Yeah, the grocery store,
The grocery store?
the department store, or whatever.
These are weekend warriors, right?
Yeah.
Well, they defined. Okay, and then she went on to say that Russia. She claims that Russia in school books are printed that portray Germany as an aggressor state. Primary school age children are trained to use weapons, is what she says. According to the German station Deutsche Welle, reservists include all soldiers who served in the Bundeswehr, but does not include former National People's Army soldiers of the GDR, like East Germany, who never served in the Bundeswehr after its dissolution. So, how could the GDR soldiers serve? They were dissolved in 1990. That's 34 years ago. That make raw recruits 54 years old. I'm 56, and my days are done, man. I'm done crawling around, low crawling and high crawling.
Well, okay, so how long have they been portraying the Russian children studying these things? How long has that been going on? And all of a sudden now they're just, are they concerned because...
It just didn't start yesterday.
Yeah.
They're calling Ukraine Nazis.
Yeah, so is there a concern now because maybe they don't like our commander-in-chief either and they don't trust our... Because, I mean, we're kind of the protector of Germany, right? I know they've got their own military.
We got bases, Ramstein.
But we got a couple bases over there.
Kaiserslautern.
So, I don't know. Something to think about.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, here we go.
Who else in Europe? What's going on? Who else in Europe?
Who else in Europe that has
It's getting
military?
ready.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to talk about France will soon start sending troops to train Ukrainian forces. The trainer instructors will go to the Ukrainian training centers. Ukraine believes that France's determination will encourage other partners to join by training troops. Increase their support of Ukraine by authorizing sales of the Mirage jets and sending French military trainers to Ukraine's training centers. Additionally, France changed course and has agreed to sell Mirage fighter jets to Ukraine by the end of the year.
Yeah, they weren't going to sell them.
Yeah, and why? If this is such a big deal, why are we waiting? And yeah, it's definitely an escalation, right? France's intention is to train 4,500 Ukrainian pilots on the Mirage 2000 jets over a 6-month period.
This is a little bit crazy. 4,500 pilots. Think back to Top Gun, right? And the F-16, right? That takes a lot to train, at least a year, right? And they want to do 4,500 pilots in 6 months. That's the equivalent of that Tomcat, F-16 Tomcat.
How many jets do you think they're going to be selling them?
Well,
how many do they have? Are they going to have a lot of backup with 4,500 pilots?
I mean, assuming, let's say you count for casualties, you got a 1/4 Corps saying that 3,000 are going to die,
Wow.
in combat, whatever. So maybe these are extras, second and third string, on the bench, the 4,500. But it's not easy to train. You got to have simulators. You don't just take someone up and, try a barrel
Take
roll.
over the controls.
Try an Immelman. Turn around. It's not easy. Taken in isolation, these moves by various countries don't seem alarming, what's happening here and there. But when taken together, given Russia's rhetoric, they do seem alarming. If Russia starts World War III, we asked this yesterday, will China invade Taiwan? Will Kim invade South Korea? Will Iran attack Israel? Anything's possible.
And maybe that's part of the bigger plan. Like I was saying, maybe that's part of the bigger plan.
They keep pushing.
Putin gets some junk going on over here, and then he encourages others to get junk going on over there. I mean, how much can we? You know more about the military than I do, but how much can we withstand?
Well, I mean, we're not just we don't start the wars.
No, I know that.
We'd have to respond.
Right.
But all those fronts, and if something's going on, like after the elections, we're going to find out what's going on with this court case with Hunter Biden, and that could just be the escalation that takes us to November. And if it's an all full blown conflagration, these guys might act. That's only 6 months away.
And not to mention any of those players that you just mentioned, they could act on their own, right?
Well,
just taking it upon themselves.
They have a better chance of succeeding if America is distracted with civil unrest.
Right.
Better chance of succeeding. If I were Kim, I'd kind of wait till that, see what's going on, and I'd wait.
Yeah.
If I was a despot, and I'm not.
Or maybe he could turn around and invade China if China was distracted with Taiwan.
Kim?
I don't know. He's a whack job, man.
Biting off too much,
do.
man. China's got the 1 million man army.
Yeah, but they got to squish them all into that small country of Korea.
Stay out of the military, Scott. Stay out of the military. Okay?
I got it.
All right, thanks, folks.
Have a good one.
We appreciate
Take care.
it. We can still laugh and joke.